Go right. Okay.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, wow. I don't know.
It's
Where,
okay.
where, I don't know what's going on with my camera. I do not know what's going on with my camera. I'm a little upset right now, but okay. All right. I'll keep playing with it. But how are things going with you?
Great. How are you and how are things going with you? You are officially no longer at your
Oh my goodness. So that has been amazing. So my last day there was Friday the 18th.
okay.
Come to find out, I made one friend there that we became really tight. Never met each other, but just chatting through IM and everything. And she told me that my supervisor actually had put in her 2 weeks notice the week prior.
Really?
So the week that I left, she put hers in. I left Friday. She put her 2 weeks notice in that Monday. Said that she had enough too. But I felt so bad because on the they gave us an exit interview and they gave us an exit survey, and I ate her up on both of those, not knowing that she was going through her own turmoil through that, and I was catching hell because she was unhappy.
Right.
So I was like, oh, I felt so awful, but it felt good to know that it just wasn't me. I wasn't giving up because I was whatever reason that it is a tough job, and of course a lot of politics play into it. But I feel so free. Saturday I went to work in the salon. I worked 12 hours. 12 hours I worked, and I felt great. Didn't get tired. Actually, people, we had talked about people calling the day of and how would you be like, no, whatever. People call and text, I know it's late. Come on down, girl. Come on. I was happy. I was happy to be in the shop. So I don't know if perhaps this break away from doing hair helped me realize how much I miss it.
Right.
But I felt great. And then today I went into the office. That was a different thing. I'm really big on energies now.
Right.
When I walked into the office, it was different last week. It was like it was a packed house.
Okay.
So once my client got there, we got into session, I felt great. I felt energized. Walking into the space and the people that were there. I like people getting along. Like even in the salon, I try to tell the people that work in my salon, we don't have to be friends, but at least we should be friendly to one another.
Right.
You shouldn't walk in and meet somebody. And it was just like a lot of that. Somebody was in my office. She had an attitude, and she was in my office. I want to say, chick, you in my office, boo. Right. But I went into the other office. She came out, looked at me like I was crazy. So I had went and bought some things for the office there, file cabinet, flipboards, and things. But I had to leave them in the guest office that I was in because she was in mine. So I had to work on that. But still, I love the work that I'm doing. I have a new client that started last week, so this was her second session. It was just great. It was great.
We're good.
Yeah. But Kim, my camera. I'm still working on my camera. I don't know what's going on with it, but as soon as I can get to work, I'll be on screen.
Okay.
What were you saying?
Well, I was going to say I'm glad that it is working out for you, and that you had to go through that transition just to know, to appreciate, if you will, where you currently are. And I think that sometimes we do have to go through things just to know, just to appreciate what we have or what we had, or you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like that. So I'm glad that you had that experience, and that hopefully you won't have to have that experience again. And
Exactly.
and that from this you will learn. You have learned that you may just you will stay where you are, but you may just have to pivot just a little bit, but not outside of the realms of which you are currently working. So the salon and then the coaching. So you just may have to switch up some things within those the comfort of those things, just to to fulfill the void or whatever it is that you may be feeling at that time, but not walk away and take on a whole full-time job that you really didn't want, and all your friends tried to tell you, and you just needed to see for yourself. But
all y'all try to tell me. Yeah, all y'all try to tell me. But you know what? I just think too, this time I have to have balance in my life. I have to, because there was 25 years I rarely took a vacation. I had that fear of missing out. Suppose someone want to get an appointment, you got to get it when you can get it.
Right.
So I didn't take breaks. I work. I know this time that I need to take breaks. I'm not going to be in the salon all day. I think I was just excited to be back in the salon on Saturday.
Right.
It's going to be different. I have a passion. So yeah, I'm excited about what the future lies ahead. What about you? What's been going on with your week?
This week, so I actually, it's been good. I had a little incident not really at the salon, but with someone, and I had to release somebody as being my client, and
oh my gosh,
and
really?
yeah, I did, and they took it very personal, and basically was trying to I don't want to say attack my character in a way, but just saying things that I had not said. And so I just thought that was just very unfortunate, and I just had to say that. And people to me, first of all, let me acknowledge everybody, because I don't want to seem rude. Hey Tanisha, hey Kim, thank you all so much for joining. Continue to share, continue to like, and thank you all for being here. We really do appreciate you all for being here with us. But back to what I was saying. I just don't, I think that people don't realize that in any business that you don't have to put up with things, especially when you know for yourself that you are giving everything with everybody, that you're giving everything of yourself. You're giving. And then that one person feels like you're not giving enough. You're not understanding. Right. Enough. You're not just, and it's like, no, you just didn't take advantage of my giving, and you are not standing in the spot. And just because I am, and I want to say just because I am a hairstylist, because I'm not just a hairstylist. I am a person who is providing a service, and I'm providing a quality service to each and every one of my clients. And it does not make me any less than, or you should not think that I'm less than, or I don't have the ability or the capability of firing you as a client. And I think that some people get twisted. It's like, you need me. You need my money. You need my services. You need, and it's like, no.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
Right.
I hate
this year for me is a year of, it is a privilege to be in my space. It is a privilege to occupy the same space that I am occupying. That's how I feel. And if you cannot respect me, who I am, what I stand for, then you do not get the privilege of occupying the same space that I am occupying.
Good for you. That's good.
So, that's where I am with that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and outside of that, I have a wedding on Saturday, so I'm all in wedding mode and hair makeup mode.
Good.
Yeah, excited about that. I'm also making her bouquet, so I'm excited about that too.
So you're using all your gifts and talents now.
Yes, good. I am, and I will be posting all of that. I will be posting it all, like everything, so that and I just want to see where it all goes, where it leads me, what path it leads me down. And just to I want to see, because I don't necessarily promote that I do those things.
Yeah.
Just turn your phone
But
off.
people know it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that is, but all that is just sidebar. I want to say happy anniversary to you and Justin.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
the 1 year anniversary tomorrow.
Already. Can you believe it?
I know, right? So listen, I have plenty of questions for you about your one. So everything today is about relationships and just relationship questions.
Okay.
So now with you got 1 year under your belt now.
1 year. Yeah.
1 year. So what is the one thing, or maybe two things, or pieces of advice that you can say that you could give now that you learned in this year?
And I hate to keep referring back to this, but in my first marriage, we went to premarital counseling, and she said you had to make a pact to never quit, to never give up. You had to make a pact that you were in it and you were just going to be in it.
Okay.
And I think I forgot that. There were a couple arguments that we had early on in this year, and I blatantly just said, dude, it ain't working. And let's just realize it ain't working, go about our business while we still, under a year, we can get this annulled.
Right.
So I forgot the fact that, you never give up. And I had to go back and I had to apologize and let him know, I'm in it. We're in this first year. Of course, we're still learning how to do life together. So the first advice I would give anybody who's thinking about marriage, you have to make a decision and a commitment to never give up. If you got to go in your own separate rooms for a couple of days or whatever you got to do, just make a commitment to never give up. And I'd say the second one is pick your battles. We could argue all day, every day on something because he think you know it all, and I know it all. And he just don't realize, So I would just pick your battles. Pick your battles. I would have to say, yeah.
Okay.
It's fun.
Right. I am also coming up on an anniversary on October 5th, the 4th.
What, 25 years, right?
25 years, yes. I will be married 25 years.
Oh, I'll be 75 years old.
And, that's amazing considering I didn't really think that we were going to last 6 months.
Really?
I really did not. I really did not think at 6 month mark, I was like, okay, I don't really know about this. Month 6, yeah. I didn't really know. And then here we are at 25 years. And, it's been definitely a journey. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned, just things that if I had an opportunity to do over, some things I would do over. I would definitely have not gotten married at 21, but that's now really, water under the bridge. So it's not like I can even take that back because it's here now. It's here. It's like 25 years and you're here. And so, but it has definitely been a journey of learning about him, learning about myself, learning the things that I like, learning the things I don't like, the things that I have adapted to or conformed to for the sake of the marriage. And I've battled with myself sometimes on whether or not, if I'm falling under his coattail, am I creating it my own way, my own space, my own lane? Because that was the one thing that I did not want to do, is to lose my identity.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the biggest thing for me, is creating my own lane and creating my own space, and people knowing and differentiating between him and myself, and that I didn't become Belle's wife, that I Mika, and he was Walter, and he didn't become just my husband, whatever. He had his own lane, and and so I think that I have definitely done that over the years, and definitely, like you said, picking your battles. But I'm not an argumentative. I don't like confrontation. But when I'm mad, I'm mad.
But if they take you there,
yes, and I try not to stay in that space too long because I don't like it. But yes, and I think communication. I think that now that I'm in my 40s, I'm realizing the importance of communication. And if young people who choose to get married at a younger age or in the younger, if you would realize that communication is key, whether good, bad, or indifferent, communication will make or break a relationship. And that's to me, that's the biggest thing. Your likes, your dislikes, what you're comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with, everything needs to be talked about, because I just think that it helps. It doesn't hurt. And it's not to say that you got to tell somebody everything about you, but this communication is key. This communication, that's all I can say, is communication is key.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I have a topic.
Okay.
Dr. Ruth, right? I love Dr. Ruth, the sex doctor. She's 91 years old. Did not know that she was 91 years old, but she said that, if you, in a marriage, in a relationship, committed relationship, if you cheat once, if you regret it, but you're happy in your relationship, you shouldn't tell your partner. She said, if you did a one-night stand because you had too much to drink and you never saw that person again, keep your mouth shut. Don't tell your spouse or your partner. She said, if a one-time discretion ended up cheating on your partner, chances are you have at least a bit of guilt. That doesn't necessarily mean that you should tell your partner about what happened. She said that she's not into, she said she's been practicing this for a decade, and she's not into that honesty at all costs, because she feels like sometimes there are certain reasons why people cheat. A moment of weakness, you feel guilty about it, you swear that it's all for good, you'll never see that person again, and she doesn't feel like you need to share that. I wanted to ask you, do you think that some things are better left unsaid in relationships?
Yes.
Ooh, you don't want to think about it?
No, because again, going back to the conversations that we had last week, even though people want to say, tell me the truth, tell me, I'm gonna be okay. You're not gonna be okay. You're not gonna be okay, because if simple things are blown out of proportion, can you imagine how, if I said I had a one-night stand, I didn't even know, I would never see this person again, I don't know anything, can you imagine how that would go? How many, like how you would call me, how you think it's very few people who can say this happened to me and I truly and wholeheartedly forgave this person and we never talked about it again.
Yeah.
So I think that, I'm not saying that by any means am I saying it's right, it's wrong, or indifferent. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I don't think that everybody can handle the truth. Mm-hmm. I don't think that everybody can really want you to tell them the truth. And of course, being told the truth, you're going to feel some kind of way, but to never bring it up again or to never throw it in your face again. I think that there's a handful of people, or very few people, who actually mean it when they say, I'm never, like, just tell me the truth. Just let me know. We'll work through it. We'll get through it. We'll whatever, and we'll move forward.
Right. Later on in the article, she did say at some point you should determine a way to expose your infidelity.
I don't.
Yeah, I think some things are better left unsaid, especially if it's a situation that, I don't drink, but if I messed up once, I know who I'm married to. And I know even if I am to my most sorry state and condition, he ain't gonna go for it. So my best bet would be to keep that, swear that would never happen to myself, and then just keep that, that's between me and God.
With that being said, Will, to be quite honest with you, I've heard and I've seen a lot of people say what they won't do, and that's the save face. That's the save face. I'm not saying that that's Justin. I'm just saying I've seen and heard people. I would never. I know if he or she cheated on me, I'm not taking them back. I'm not taking them back. That's it. It's a done deal. They did me, all this. And really, like, literally things happen and it doesn't go down like that.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Anybody else have anything to say about it? Do you think some things are better left unsaid in a relationship, or communication wide open? I need to know. You should trust me with this. Is that how y'all feel about it? I would think in an ideal world, everybody would say that we should be able to trust one another and we'd be able to get past it. But like you said, Shanika, people can't handle the truth sometimes, especially when it comes to that. Because then every now and then, something's going to creep up, something's going to remind them, something's going to trigger it, and then you're going to have to live that. You forgot about, you ain't seen this person since then.
Right.
And, it's going to always sneak up into the situation. So,
I don't know. I wish this was a generation or a world of like, I can share my truth. I can give you my truth. And to be honest, like even when people are like when they're dating, and they're just like, oh, he or she cheated on me. Okay, see, and I don't know how you may feel about this. He or she cheated on me. So I couldn't marry this person because he or she is a cheater. To me, I just feel like when you're dating, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I just don't feel like what you should carry when you were dating over into a marriage. It's like, okay, well, yes, you did step out on me with somebody else or whatever, which to me is the reason why you shouldn't move in with somebody, because now you're talking about what we're sharing. We're sharing a space, and you went and slept with somebody else, and you did this and you did that or whatever. But I just don't think that when you're dating a person that you need to carry that, because you're still two individual people. And until you make a commitment, until a commitment is made where we're actually becoming one unit, if you will, I just things that happened when we were dating. I'm not saying everybody go out here and cheat. That's not what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. I just feel like it's just different. I just feel like it's just a different. I don't think you should carry those things into a marriage.
No, that's interesting. I've always said that dating is your audition for marriage.
So you think that if a person cheats in a relationship in a dating state, that they will cheat as you being your partner, your marriage, you married?
Because this is kind of two-sided for me. Because I think if you're in a committed relationship, then yeah. But I also am the one, if you remember last season, I caught this like about, thinking people can change. I think, like if you're dating and you're not in a casual relationship, then, there is no such thing as cheating. I wasn't with you at that time, so there wasn't cheating. But if you're in a committed relationship and then you cheat on me, that is a little indicative of what I could probably expect. Because the only thing that changes is we got a piece of paper. The commitment should still be the same. The love should still be the same. The respect should still be the same.
Yes, but then it's like, okay, so then with me, because right now I'm just not in a point of I'm advocating marriage right now. I'm not advocating.
Okay.
Right. And then but I think that if you choose to get married, it's like, how long are you going to be in this committed relationship? Because I think at that point, you need to change now this committed relationship into a marriage if that's what you're going to do. Like, I don't think you're in a committed relationship for 5 or 6, 7 years, because I just don't think it takes all that. I think that if you're wanting to be with someone, then within a year and a half, 2 at the most, you should be turning this committed relationship into a marriage if that's what you're choosing to do. Now, if you're not really sure that you're committing to this person, then it's going to always be what it is. You're just a person that I am currently dating, and I'm dating you, and I may possibly date someone else, but I am not in a so committed relationship with you.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I so wish I could see y'all, but I hear you and I can see you. You look cute. I look cute too.
Do you?
I'm all skinny. I lost 50 pounds since last week. Yeah, watch this camera pop up. You like lies.
It's all right. All right. So again, another relationship question. Okay, how long do you? Okay, so it was kind of like the story. Is a young lady. She's been dating this guy for about 2 to 3 months now, and he has offered to pay for some things for her. Give her gas money, helping her out with, just different little things that she may need. And she doesn't necessarily feel like she should be taking anything from him. So my question is, when is too soon to accept things? And if someone's offering, is it still a no? And I think that when things like this happen, when people are like, no, it's kind of like you said, a twofold. One, I feel like they've been so used to not to always being the person that's giving that they don't know how to receive.
Right.
And or they don't want to feel like they owe the person something. So then they say no. But when do you think, like, when is it too soon to accept?
I mean, I don't think it's ever too soon to accept. I think what you need to understand and what you need to try to discern is their intention behind it. Some people give you gifts because it's an attempt to let you know, I'm going to try to control you with this eventually. Remember when I did this, I'm doing all this for this, and X, Y, and Z. So I think once you determine somebody's intention, are you doing this because you care for me? You want to show me how much you care for me? Or is this going to be, I did this for you, now I need you to do this for me type situation?
Is that the conclusion that we jump to first? Is that the I just read a book and it was like the oh my gosh, what was the word that she used? The not the discernment, because you just said discernment, but I can't even think of the word that she used. Say it again.
Was it intuition?
No.
Okay.
Oh gosh, but I can't even think of the word. But it's sometimes I just feel like yes that because that was my first thing. It's like, okay, are you controlling? But then I was like, okay, Shanika, that's not everybody's intention. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people are doing it because they want you to possibly know, okay, like I am into you, I like you. I don't mind helping you because this is a role as a man. If I'm going to be, and I'm big on right now too, on monopolizing people's time. Like if you're talking to somebody throughout the day or multiple times throughout the day, or you're spending time with this person, then that person is monopolizing your time. You're monopolizing that person's time. And I just feel like, okay, if you're going to take, we're taking up each other's time. And if this person offers you something, then it's like, okay, but they're monopolizing your time. So like, why not? Why would you not? And then sometimes really, I'm realizing now that being in bad relationships can really mess up people. This is like when you're not used to having certain things, or when you're not used to, like I said, when you're used to giving and nobody and not receiving because somebody isn't giving to you.
Right.
I think that just kind of messes people up, and you don't know, you can't decipher between a bad guy and a good guy, or a bad girl. I mean, not a bad and a good female. Like, there is no intention behind it. I really care for you. Let me cook for you. Let's hang out. I don't mind helping you out if you need, because you're helping me. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that.
But don't you think that's linked to the person's personal experience in the past? That could be baggage brought on from, because they're used to that. They're used to, people giving me something, and then it coming, they're throwing it back in my face. They're giving it to me, and they want something in return. So they have difficulty accepting, and that can come from gifts. That can come from compliments. That can come from any type of attention.
Yes, I do think that
in certain instincts, that goes down, it boils down deep down to worthiness. That's a fear of worthiness. Am I worthy of this? Why are you giving this? What do you want?
Yes.
Come on, coach. All right.
Yes, because that's the thing for me. It's like, I need people to understand that you're worthy of that. Like, and just realizing, like I said, like, being in bad relationships, this is the type of damage that it does to people.
Yeah.
You hear that, you hear people say that, like, people, they just making it bad. They're just making, being in this bad relationship, they just making this person worse for somebody else, And it's like, you hear people say that, but until you really like experience it and see it for yourself, it's like, oh, I really didn't get that, but now I see it. And it's like, you're right. Like, you have damaged this person. And now they can't even recognize somebody good, because they can't, because all the just crazy stuff that you did to them, So, but yes, it definitely does boil down to worthiness. And I need my women, I mean, every not just women, but everybody to know that, yes, there is discernment that comes with it. And yes, you need to get down to the intentions of the person. But don't, as my mama would always tell me, I used to always say this about my granny. My granny would, older, and I saw like a meme about it where when, your grandmama would always slide money in your hand and be like, don't tell nobody, don't tell the rest of you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tell my mom, I used to be like, Mom, she don't have to give me nothing. She don't have to give me stuff. And my mom was like, listen, that's her way of blessing you, and stop blocking her blessing because you think you don't feel like she need to give to you. Maybe that's her way of blessing you, and that her blessing is coming from that because she's given to you. So I had to realize that, like, okay, you're right, because that's a blessing for her, and she feels like that she want to give to me, then I need to stop trying to block her blessing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and so, and I don't know, for me, I don't know anything other than that. I mean, my husband has always taken care of me before we even, got married, when I was in high school, like that's all I know. So when I see people or hear stories like this of people like, no, I don't want to, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't understand. Why? Like, why would you not? Like, why? I'm not saying take advantage, but if someone's offering to give you something and there's nothing with it and they're just doing it out of the kindness of their heart, then why not? But we do, I guess it is a point where we do have to realize that we have walked away with some baggage that's not necessarily the best, and that we need to release those things and understand that we are worthy, and that, when we give of ourselves, that it's okay to receive. It's okay just accept the compliment with thank you and not justify whatever it is that person may have said to you. Whatever, just saying thank you is enough, and you don't have to say anything else. Or, I appreciate you. That's enough. You don't have to be like, you don't have, nothing else has to come with it. It's like, okay, you want to do this for me. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. You don't have to be like, no, don't do that. No, you don't have to, you don't, because you don't know what God has laid on somebody else's heart to do.
Exactly.
So, okay.
Exactly. So this is my question for you then. With that situation in mind, do you think, because the person who's giving, there are just certain people, I'm a giver, and I love to see people's expressions when I give. I mean, that's the joy I get from it. Let me see you light up. Let me be, I love to see all that stuff. I'm a person who is kind of difficult. I'm getting a little bit better on accepting gifts. But do you think that is an injustice for the person who's on that receiving end, who has that damage, who has that issue with worthiness, being able to accept gifts, or always thinking that it's a motive behind it? Not to say that sometimes it isn't. But do you think it's an injustice for that person to even enter into a relationship until they've done that work to be able to receive? Because they're not the only ones that can be damaged in that situation. The person who wants to love, and now they're in a person with person in a relationship with the person who has this block up. So now they're not being able to fulfill themselves by showing this person, because you're always at this opposition.
Well, you know what? And this may not always be the case, but I'm just going to say this because I watched I watched a live of somebody today.
Mm-hmm.
He said something very important, I thought. And I thought, wow, okay. He basically told one of his friends, he was like, he was telling another friend, so a mutual friend, he was telling her something. And then his friend was like, well, why did you say that to her? Mm-hmm. And he was like, because she needed to hear it. She needed to hear the particular statement that he told her. And so basically he was saying that when you sit and you watch somebody do something that is not okay, and you continue to let them do it because you feel like you're trying to mind your business, what kind of friend are you?
Right.
So right. I'm saying that to say that as a friend, if you can see one of your friends that is going through that, and you can recognize that they are worthy of what somebody is trying to give to them, then you should. It is your right to speak up and say, "Friend, listen, like you need to, like, it's okay that you accept this. Like you're not anybody's tail. you're not anybody's, the bottom of the barrel. You're not gum on the bottom of somebody's shoe. You
right.
Like crap. You know what I'm saying? Like you deserve to be treated like a person should be treated, and somebody that wants you. And sometimes, you know, it's like, you know, let a man, because I just feel like a man, you know, or anybody who, and I say this, that's wanting to be with you, anybody who's wanting to be with you, they're going to show you and that they want to be with you, you know, in that sense, they're going to show you. And I feel like in this, you know, I just feel like you have a right to say, like, you just need to let this person show you that this is how they are. This is what they want to do for you. Now, that's on the friend side. Now, do I think, to answer your question, do I think that they should enter into a relationship? Yes, I do think that they should enter into a relationship, because sometimes that may be the only way they're going to learn that they are worthy of the things that they are being offered. And sometimes some people don't know that they are messed up. Some people don't know until they enter in relationships and see, okay, like, wow, like this person is giving to me. You need to see the good. And to know that what you experience, you would never get yourself into that. You need to know what the difference is between what wasn't good and now what is good.
That needs to come with a warning label thing. That needs to be a conversation in the beginning of a relationship. Look, I'm broken into certain areas. You can expect X, Y, and Z from me.
Yes.
That's not something, because you have to understand the needs of this other person too. It's not all about that one person who has the. Yeah, I do agree that would be, you know, but just be honest with it. You know, let me lay it all out. You know, I've been used, abused, and taken for granted. So I have a problem with trusting, letting my guard down, and receiving.
Yes.
You know, are you able to deal with it? Are you able to help me with this?
Yes.
You know,
and I think that, you know, that comes with being people, you know, when you do recognize, and I think that this is a matter of recognizing things about yourself that, you know, you have to be in tune with yourself to know, okay, like, I just need you to bear with me. I need you to just be patient with me, because there are some areas in my life that I am working on.
Exactly.
You know, whatever. But, you know, and if you're not willing, if you're not ready or willing, you know, don't take up somebody else's time. You know, especially if they're like, no, I don't want to do this, or you know that you have more that you really need to work on your own without being in a relationship. But if that person is willing to work with you, and it's like, okay, I'm willing to have patience with you, I understand, because we're coming out of something similar. Maybe we could work through this together. Then absolutely. The
only problem with that issue, which I've witnessed, is sometimes we mistake vulnerability with weakness. And a lot of people don't want to be mistaken as, oh, I don't want to let him know this about me because he's going to use this against where he's going to take advantage. That's a part of our work too. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. My love.
Yeah. So we have a guest.
Yes, we do. And I'm hoping that I pronounce her name correctly, because she deserves for me to pronounce her name correctly. So I am hoping that I do. And if not, please correct me when you do come on. But yes, we are ready for our guest, and I hope that you all are ready for our guest as well. Let me go ahead and introduce her. We have Linda, I'm hoping that is right, Lipscomb, coming up. She is a mom, a grandmother, domestic abuse survivor, 25-year executive professional, and a private personal coach to celebrities. But more importantly, she is a woman that beat the odds of becoming a victim to the murderer that murdered her son. Oh, wow. Her book, If My Vagina Could Talk, tells true life stories about the survival and overcoming odds, covering a wide range of topics, including marriage, motherhood, sexuality, money, power, singlehood, and most of all, female empowerment. Please, 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 please help me welcome Linda Lipscomb. Hello.
Hey, I'm excited to be here. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great.
Good. Okay. Did I pronounce your name correctly?
It's actually Lindia, but I prefer Linda.
Okay.
I prefer Linda. Linda's fine.
Okay, Lindy. Okay. Because I was like, it's an I in there. Do I know?
I know it's Lindia, but people normally say Lydia, so that's why I say just say Linda.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, thank you and welcome.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.
I was listening to your segment. Really good talk.
Thank you.
Thank you. I am super excited to talk about all the things that you. I'm excited because I was just like, okay, so just reading the title, I was like, Shanika, it's probably not even what you think, but it's okay.
A lot of people say that. People go say, "Are you the vagina lady?" I'm like, no, but I have one.
Yeah.
I was like, that's probably, you need to just come on out of there. Yeah. Okay. Well, Will is here. You hear his voice, but you don't see his face. He's very handsome.
I know. I see the little circle.
Yeah. I'm really skinny too. I've lost a lot of weight since last week and all this kind of stuff. But I can say that being that my camera doesn't work. But yeah. So tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get into this? I'm intrigued to hear about this, the title. When it came across the office, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I would love to hear what it would say. So give us a little bit about your background.
Okay, my background basically is 25-year veteran for human resources director. That's first and foremost. But I moonlighted for the last 20 years as in Hollywood because I just moved to Texas from Hollywood. So there I wrote scripts. I did talent management. My daughter grew up on TV, so I had a lot of aspects in the Hollywood field. I just learned so much through my life about women, men, sexual relationships, divorce, abuse. There's been so much going on. And being an HR director also, you meet so many different employees with so many issues and so many problems. And then also me, myself, was crippled to my own bones, I guess you would say, from divorce and abuse, sexual abuse, and, of course, surviving the tragedy of my son. It was just so much going on in life that I thought there's got to be a lot of other women that are maybe going through some of the same pains, some of the same issues in life. So, which was the reason why I'm from Washington, D.C. originally, the streets of Southeast. So I don't sugarcoat anything. So when I say if my vagina could talk, I wanted to hit it right on the nail, what the vagina does and how the vagina controls a lot of our life, from sex to children to birth to men to lusting to decision making. So I know in the 90s we had the vagina monologues, but I was like, that was just a bunch of jokes and stories. I wanted to hit it head on. Okay. So that's why the title is so abrupt, because our vagina does speak to us. In more ways than you can think of.
Okay. So why was it important for you to write If My Vagina Could Talk?
I think a lot of women are silent. And this is a book that has 5 stories of women going through certain phases and stages of life, from abuse to sexuality, to being married, to birthing children, to just becoming a woman again after you go through all that and how you pull yourself back up. It's a little different than a self-help book because the women in this book didn't go to any therapist or didn't go to talk to anyone. They had to really, find the strength and courage in themselves to come back up and make things better for them in their life and to make changes. So I thought when I was going to write it, why don't I bring some other women into it and make it more powerful? Because my story is way huge, but I wanted to split it up and do sprinkles of other women's lives. And there is Black, Latino, Mexican, and white in this book. And even though we're all from different cultures and different areas of life, we all went through some of the same trauma as different women on different sides of the earth. So it's really crazy that our lives kind of crash with the same thing. So I thought it was important to finally speak up about the things that women go through, because women we blame ourselves for everything that goes on in our life, from our children to our husbands. We just take on such a burden. And I wanted to relieve some of that and let women start having a voice and talk about it. I mean, it starts with the conversation about all these things that happen to us, plus there's some sprinkles of erotica in the book, which is of course on my part, but other than that, it's a really good, cool, from one of the, I'm getting from a lot of people saying it's a cool, fun read. It's kind of crazy, kind of sexy, and it's cool. It's like I can get into this. And it's an easy read. There's nothing complicated about it. It's life.
Okay. Awesome.
So Linda, you said that, you know, in your discovery that women of all life, you guys had a lot of similarities. What are some of the similarities that you were shocked to find out?
Well, the first similarity is that we all share that vaginal canal that gives birth, which is we give life.
Yes.
That's something we share across the board. Yeah. But I think the abuse in relationships was really shocking, because a lot of women are in abusive relationships that they don't even know it. Because they're living in it. They don't discover it. It's like a tornado. When a tornado comes, you don't even know it's coming, but it hits you all of a sudden and you're just there. And then they use the children not to leave. They use money not to leave. They use stability not to leave. But abuse isn't physical. It's mental. It's everything that just strips you of who the human being that you are, and you don't even realize it. And it starts with alienating you from your family, from your friends, from your coworkers, from those that love you. So that was shocking to know that all of us have been through some type of abuse, but different ways. And the channels came from all different directions. And I'm like, wow, you know, one of the women in the story, when I actually read her story as I was editing it, I almost cried. I had to call her and say, I'm sorry. I cannot believe I was not in your life during that time period. Where was I? I felt, as a woman, I felt guilty that I was not there to help her. She went through it by herself. So I think the shocking part to me was understanding that, wow, I didn't know we all had been through some of the same type of abuse, whether it was mental, physical, emotional. And I think a lot of women endure that, and friends need to listen to friends when they talk. They really need to listen.
That's really ironic that you said that, because I was sitting here thinking and I was reading the questions, but I was like, okay, no. And I want my question to be as far as people saying, because this is the time and the day and time where everybody wants to mind their business.
Yes.
And nobody wants to ask the hard questions. Nobody wants to say, are you being physically abused? Are you being mentally abused? Are you being financially abused? Like, what would you say? What would you say to someone or to friends, to people? Like, you know, how would you address that? Like, why should we not mind our business?
I don't think you should. I think if you see a woman in distress, I think you have a duty, especially if you're a woman, you have a duty to ask that person, do they need help? Are you okay? And I know men have a strong time with that because they don't know how to cross the fence, whether I should help this woman, should I get involved, should I not? But I think it's okay for men to also ask, are you okay? Do you need help? Is there anything wrong? Because even if you can't help her, maybe you can send her in the right direction to something else that can help her, whether it's a therapist or whether it's a class or et cetera. But I think we owe it to ourselves to help another fallen woman. I think we have to. I mean, we talk about police brutality, but we don't talk about the brutality that's in our own home every day. Right. Women are being abused by their kids. Kids are abusing parents. I mean, I see it. I mean, you see it on YouTube. You see it on WorldStar. They're smacking their parents, cussing their parents out. This is all abuse. Mm-hmm. And we are not stepping up to the plate and making these abusers accountable. That's the first step. I call it right out. If I have a friend that's doing it, or I see a friend, or I have a male friend that may be saying things or say they did this, I'm going to call you out. I'm going to talk to you about it. I'm going to say, you shouldn't do this because this is what's going to happen. This is how she probably feels. Maybe you should talk to her. If you make people start being accountable and being aware and stop being like unconscious bias, as some people call it, make them aware that their actions and their behavior are wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. You can do it politely. You can do it professionally. Just to give an example, I used to have a woman in HR that I had signals for her if she didn't come to work. How many times to call her house, when to hang up, or if she calls me and hang up. That's harsh. That's really sad when a woman can't even come to work. So I think nowadays, with all the things that are going on, especially with women and husbands being home again together during quarantine, things happen. You're not used to that person. You're seeing them every day. You're talking to them. You found out what they're like. Men can't go out and go to the casino or go golfing or do the things they used to do. And now you're all cooped up in this one domicile together. Something's going to break. So now's the time more than anything to talk about that relationship.
Awesome.
Good stuff. I have a question. It's not on our list, but in listening to you and then talking to clients who were in abusive relationships, I've always wondered, and I don't ask them directly, but I'm going to ask you, what changes in your mindset from when you're first lured into this relationship that you, especially if it's a long-term abusive relationship? What changes in your mindset to where you allow yourself to stay there until when you finally decide enough?
Well,
what's that process like?
I think the process is that when I say it comes like a tornado, I think people go into this relationship and then all of a sudden it gets into this wind of a tornado of abuse, but you don't see it coming. And by the time it comes so strong, you have already been alienated from your friends, alienated from your coworkers, because it starts with the mind. They start working on your mind first. They start to make sure that you don't need to go to your sister's house. Why your mother keeps calling. When that person starts to alienate you from everything you know and love, they have control. So by the time the abuse comes, you have nobody to turn to. You have let go of all your family and friends. Exactly. They don't even want to talk to you. They don't want to help you. They don't understand what's going on. Then they're telling you, I don't understand how it gets there, because the first thing they're going to blame is you. Why did you let this happen? And it's not that we let it happen. Some men and some women are abusive to men. They're very strong and very calculated on how they turn you against your family and friends. But you have to understand, you become this loner. And then you think, especially if you're a woman who don't work and you stay at home, you don't have no income. You're dependent upon him for your money, for your household. You're dependent upon him to take care of your children and provide. Where are you going to go? That's your first thought. Where am I going to go? Who's going to take me and my kids in? I mean, I went through the same thing when I left my husband. Who's going to take me and my kids in? Where am I going to go? Where am I going to get my money from? I can't really go to work and my brain is, kind of clouded with this mess that's going on. So it's a gradual move that they make and that you succumb to unconsciously. You succumb to that. You fall into that. Okay. And then it's hard to get out of it. It really is. You need to really either have some strength and courage and to pull yourself up and get out of it, or you need a great friend or colleague or someone to help you get through it. Because once you're there and you're by yourself and they take control of your mind, you are stuck. Yeah. It's hard to get out.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. That was a lot. And
but it's the truth, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It is the truth. I think that if you wanted to add more to, what made you choose the title of the book, I think we kind of covered it, but if you wanted to add a little bit more to that.
I think If My Vagina Could Talk, I wanted it to be funny and I wanted it to be cool. I wanted it to be an easy read. I wanted to talk about, because there is some good things about life. I mean, there's sex, there's men, there's partying, there's some good things. Not everything is bad. So I wanted to bring I wanted to bring some sprinkle of sex, of love, how we fell in love. Some of the women talked about how they fell in love and then what happened. So, there is some great points about the book. It's not all sad and sappy. There are some crazy erotic sex scenes in there. And then there's things about love. And then I have one of the authors who just loves sex. And hers is about how much she loves sex and men. So I just wanted to tell the life of sex, love, motherhood, abuse, all in one book. This is volume 1, so I'm hoping to do volume 2 next year. And these women are just out there, they just wanted to be told their story. And I think every single person on earth has a story to tell.
Where can people get a copy of this book?
I'm everywhere now. You can go Amazon, my own website, LyndiaLipscomb.com. You can also go onto Barnes & Noble, Books in Print. So pretty much if you Google If My Vagina Could Talk, the book's everywhere. It's doing pretty well.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing everything.
Thank you guys for having me.
You have a podcast, because you should if you don't.
You know what? It's so funny. Everybody keeps asking me for one, but if I can fit it in my schedule, I would love to, but it's just the scheduling. But I would love to. Maybe by the end of the year, I don't know. But then I'll have you on.
We'll go.
That works.
Thank you so much for having me. I so appreciate it.
Yes.
No problem.
So yes, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate everything that you had to share with us. I'm definitely going to look for the book. I definitely want to read the book. And I'm hoping that a couple of our audience members will pick up the book as well. And then hopefully we could get you back on like next season. We could come
Oh, really quick before I go, I want to tell you, since I've done the book, I've got a great audience now of men who want me to do the male perspective because they say they have things to say. So I'm on the process of working on the male perspective, so we'll see, because the males say, they go through a lot from women too. So.
Oh yeah.
He says, oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will keep you posted on that book.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was good.
Yeah.
Where's Justin?
That's what I heard.
All right, loves, that was great. We had a really good conversation. I hope that you all enjoyed the conversation between Will and I. I hope that you all enjoyed our guest. We definitely miss Will's face. Hope to see you back in 2 weeks. So yes, we will have a special co-host next week. So please make sure you join us. We will also have a guest, and we'll have a special guest co-host. Okay. Thank you all as usual for tuning in. Thank you for sharing. We all really appreciate it. Make sure you continue to share, continue to like. And Will, if you do not have anything else.
No, that's it. I'm good.
All right, love.
I'm good.
Right. Yeah,
no, I might gain a few pounds before you see me next. All right, y'all.
All right, have a great one, and we'll see you all next week.
All right.
Bye.